I am beating every N64 game, and I mean all of them. The twist is, the next game I play is randomly selected, so I have no clue what's coming next. This is the journey to beating every N64 game. Game number 126, NBA in the Zone 99. Released in 1999, this game was developed and published by Konami. This is the second game in this series, with us having played NBA in the Zone 98 all the way back at game 35. It certainly wasn't my favorite basketball game ever. I mean, how do you beat NBA Hang Time on the N64? Basketball was my favorite sport to play growing up, but I probably liked American football best for video games. It's quite strange to me that Konami made basketball games, but then again, they made all kinds of video games back then. Man, I really miss the old Konami. Alright, guess we should see how they changed this one from the previous version. Let's get into it. When I booted it up, I decided to test out the 3-point contest. This is just such a jank implementation of this. The B button shoots during a normal game, but in this, you press down on the joystick for whatever reason. It felt so unnatural to do, and yeah, I'm out. So the way we do sports games in this challenge is we beat the main championship for that sport in the shortest way the game allows. This is because the sheer amount of sports games and the repetitiveness of playing the CPU in them. This game offers a playoffs mode for the NBA Championship with 1-game series instead of 7, so that's what we'll be doing to beat this game. I had to choose my team for the job. With so many great teams from this era, it can be hard to pick. I went with the Utah Jazz, featuring the awesome lineup of Greg Ostertag, Karl Malone, Brian Russell, Jeff Hornacek, and John Stockton. My first match wouldn't be easy though, going against the San Antonio Spurs with David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Sean Elliott, Jaren Jackson, and Avery Johnson. Man, that Spurs logo gives me so much nostalgia. Games start with a tip-off, which I didn't know what button to press, so I just kinda stood there. It's weird in these games how everyone just has the exact same dribbling animation. They did the same thing in the last game too, just trotting along like it's a leisurely stroll through the park. About a minute into the game, Tim Duncan dunked it. On brand for him, you know? It showed an instant replay, and the graphics noticeably improved when it did. At one point, the AI used a timeout and replaced the entire roster. Honestly, I have no idea why they did this. It seems like an awful coaching decision. Also noticed they have Steve Kerr just chilling on the bench. Man, this Spurs roster was nuts. In the second quarter, the CPU had foul shots. I'm all about trying to make foul shots a challenge, but this is just too much. There's 2 meters going and you've got a button mash to balance one and then time the other in the middle. Also notice that there's no referees during the game. One of the players just grabs the ball and passes it back. It feels real strange. I was having a big problem in this game where I couldn't go for a layup or a dunk when I was guarded. It would just make them go for a jump shot, which had real low success. It feels like I should be able to try for a contested layup, but either they just didn't implement that feature or I just couldn't figure out how to do it. You can consistently get dunks if you pass safely under the basket though. Maybe the devs were wanting the game to have a more strategical aspect to it. So this game came down to the final minutes. I went to the free throw line and yeah, these were some of the worst attempts at a foul shot ever done. I'm quite embarrassed for myself, honestly. And yeah, those missed free throws were the difference. I had lost. Well, I would have if I didn't rage quit at the last second. I lost again on the second try. Oh god, the salt is setting in. On the third attempt, I was getting absolutely destroyed and decided to say screw the Jazz, they suck anyway. Figured I'd switch to my old reliable and play as the Indiana Pacers, with the amazing roster of Rick Smits, Dale Davis, Chris Mullin, Mark Jackson, and the GOAT Reggie Miller. We were up against the Chicago Bulls with the very odd roster of Andrew Lang, Tony Kukoc, Mark Bryant, Ron Harper, and Brent Barry. Let's get into the highlights. The Pacers struck first with Reggie Miller on the turnaround jumper just outside the paint. He's my pick for MVP this season. On the next possession, Brent Barry answers with the shot just inside the 3-point line. It was a 2. Now Dale Davis with the offensive board, but misses the layup. You've got to be kidding me. This is your job, man. How are you just going to miss the easiest shot in basketball? He did make up for it immediately by sending Brent Barry's 3-point attempt into the next zip code. Probably saved himself from getting benched there. Barry answers by zipping past Reggie Miller for the big slam dunk. A couple possessions later, and Rick Smith stuffs Brent Barry, leading to the veteran Chris Mullin for an easy bucket, tied 4-all. Just a few seconds left in the first quarter, and Reggie Miller just dribbles the ball out of bounds. I think he fell asleep there or something. The Bulls were up 9-6 at the end of the first. Now in the second quarter, Pacers down by 5. Rick Smith opts for the aerial hook shot and completely whiffs it. That type of shot died about 3 decades ago, buddy. Tony Kukoc then hits the tray to put the Bulls up 16-8, double their score, baby. But Reggie Miller immediately answers with a three-pointer of his own. They really needed that one. Check this one out. Ron Harper has a wide open drive to the basket and somehow misses the dunk. That one will be on the not top 10 later tonight. You can count on it. Going into halftime, the Bulls were up by 3 points. Into the third now. We got Chris Mullin with a reverse layup to tie it 19-all. Right after, Mario Bennett off the bench breaks Rick Smith's ankles to retake the lead. Reggie Miller can't hit the fadeaway from half court, and we go into the fourth quarter. Pacers up 1. Later, the Pacers up by 3, and Chris Mullin has a break to the basket and slams it home. Nearly tore down the rim there. Pacers up 5. Reggie Miller hits a jumper with the hand in his face, putting the Pacers up 7 with under 2 minutes to go. Chicago needs to pick up the pace. And Kukoc does just that, nailing the tray, making it a 2-score game. On the inbounds, I'm not sure what he was thinking here, but Reggie Miller goes behind the back and has it stolen. It's a 1-possession game now, folks. Down 4 now, the Bulls not finding anything. Brent Barry throws up a prayer with 2 defenders right in his face, and it somehow connects. One of the best shots I've ever seen. After the Pacers fail to score, Tony Kukoc nails another 3-pointer, and the Bulls have their first lead in ages. Reggie Miller, though, answers with a 3-pointer of his own. Pacers up by 1. He can't be stopped, folks. Tony Kukoc hits back-to-back 3-pointers. I'm on the edge of my seat. Next possession, under 30 seconds to go, and Reggie Miller with the pump fake nails the 3. Pacers up 1 again. The Bulls are in do-or-die mode here. Final chance, and who other than Tony Kukoc with Miller in his face hits a 3rd consecutive 3-pointer. I wouldn't have it any other way, folks. 2 Hall of Famers battling it out. The Pacers have 5 seconds to save it, but Miller can't hit the jumper. The Bulls take the win 38-36. A game for the ages. Wow. So yeah, I had lost yet again. Why am I so bad at this game? My goodness. I finally won on my next attempt, 39-22. Why was this such a blowout when I kept having all these close calls? I was thinking the game had severe rubber banding, but this kind of proves it doesn't. Our next game was against the New Jersey Nets. They had a few stars with Kendall Gill, Keith Van Horn, Jason Williams, Sam Cassell, and Kerry Kittles. Who the heck is that last guy? One quirk I found frustrating with this game is the clock telling you how much time is left in a quarter would just disappear and reappear randomly. I feel like it should just always be on screen. It doesn't take up that much space. Even the scoreboard would disappear sometimes. Like, why? I ended up winning this one 32-30, moving on to the conference finals. Our opponent was the Cleveland Cavaliers. No Patrick Ewing here, folks. They had Cedric Henderson, Sean Kemp, Brevin Knight, Wesley Person, and Zildrunas Ilgauskas. What the heck, I forgot about that guy. He dominated with LeBron early on. I found a decent strat for winning in this game was to get a lead and run your shot clock out every possession. Throwing up a 3 with Reggie Miller when the clock was about to run out had decent success. We won this one 36-23, and it was on to the NBA championship. Our opponent, the Minnesota Timberwolves. They had Joe Smith, Dean Garrett, Stephon Marbury, Anthony Peeler, and the legendary Kevin Garnett. I'll keep it simple. We won 36-34, narrowly taking the NBA championship home to Indiana. Upon winning, it immediately cuts to the credits and shows a picture of the big old trophy you just won. If you're wondering, I tried the Konami code and it didn't do anything. But yeah, that's about all there is for this one. Game complete. So yeah, there you have it, my journey to beating NBA in the Zone 99. It's always so interesting to me when a new entry in a sports franchise gets worse. The last one wasn't exactly great, but it wasn't horrible to play. I just had an awful time with this game. It's like everything about the AI just fell apart. I don't know if they rewrote the physics engine or what. It felt impossible to go for a dunk or layup most of the time. And when a shot was missed, everyone just kind of stands there. They won't jump for the rebound. Not to mention how the game just got laggier somehow. I definitely feel like the game is missing a play-by-play commentator during gameplay as well. If you want to play basketball on the N64, don't pick this one. I gave it a 0 out of 10 for enjoyability and a 5.5 out of 10 for difficulty. Hey, thanks for watching the video. Have a sneak peek at the next game. There are 264 games on the list. Let's see what we're playing next. 3, 2, 1, go. 232. What's that? It's a big number. Hey, we're playing the next Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. Exactly what I need after that game, which is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Good choice, random.org. But yeah, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. It helps the channel a lot. And if you like this series, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one.